Part 154. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1531. Chapter 1531. I am also doing it for your own good, I am afraid of you. Before she could finish speaking, Qiao Chen interrupted her coldly. It doesn't matter what you think, but don't judge a person casually in the future without knowing him well. Qiao Chen, are you helping Shen Xian? Do you think I have wronged her? Lin Xiao looked at him in disbelief and said, I did not say these words alone. Everyone in the school said so. Yes. If she is not like this, why do people say this about her? I am doing it for your own good, and I am afraid of you. Don't worry about it, Qiao Chen said coldly, we are just classmates. I can handle my own affairs, so no one else has to worry about it. His words were like a few slaps on Lin Xiao's face. Lin Xiao's face turned ugly. She couldn't understand that Qiao Chen had been kind to her before and seemed to have a good impression of her. Why did he become so indifferent all of a sudden? Is it because she talked about Shen Xian? But everyone in the school said that he hated Shen Xian. But in his various behaviors today, not only did he not seem to dislike Shen Xian at all, but he seemed to. Lin Xiao suddenly opened her eyes wide, with a look of disbelief on her face. Could Qiao Chen be? Qiao Chen ignored her anymore. He turned around and walked towards Qiao Mian and the others. Asterisk. After getting in the car, Qiao Mian called out, Sister, brother-in-law. Qiao Mian sat in the passenger seat, looked at Qiao Chen's face in the rearview mirror, and asked in a casual chatter, Chen, I just saw you walking with a girl. That's your classmate? Well, we're from the same school, but in different classes. Qiao Chen looked calm. Not in the same class, how do you know each other? We met while rehearsing the play. Oh, that's right, that girl is quite pretty. Sister, she and I are just ordinary schoolmates. Qiao Chen grew up with Qiao Mian. How could he not know what his sister was thinking? As for whether she is pretty or not, I am blind and didn't pay attention. You didn't notice, Qiao Mian said amusedly, don't tell me, you still can't remember what my parents look like. Well, I can't remember clearly, Qiao Chen answered honestly, I don't want to remember either. Then do you remember what Chen Xian looks like? Qiao Chen stopped talking for a moment. I think Shen Xian is prettier than that girl. Qiao Mian looked at Qiao Chen in the rearview mirror again, and then said, the temperament is also better than hers. She is just a little taller than Shen Xian, but Shen Xian is not the same. Shorter. Just being beautiful is not enough to be eaten. I think the three values of character are more important. Sister, I just want to study hard now and won't think about anything else. Qiao Chen was a little speechless and rubbed his forehead with his hand and said helplessly, so you don't have to tell me these things. What should I do and what shouldn't be done? I understand it all. I'm not against you falling in love, Qiao Mian said seriously, as long as you don't delay your studies, there's nothing wrong with talking if you want to. I just hope that your future girlfriend will at least be a girl with good character. Those with bad conduct will not be good no matter how good they are in other aspects. Qiao Chen quickly guessed that Qiao Mian was talking about Lin Xiao. It seems that Qiao Mian heard what Lin Xiao said to him just now. How old is Chen, and you still think of him as a child? Mo Yesi listened to the conversation between the sister and brother, curled his lips and said, the girl who can make Chen fall in love will definitely not. She's the kind of girl you're talking about. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1532. Chapter 1532. She was wrong, she repented. It's too early for you to worry about this now. Qiao Mian pursed her lips, non-committal. She was indeed worried too early. Sister, I won't consider falling in love in the next few years. Qiao Chen seemed to be promising, So don't worry. Chiao Mian, I have nothing to worry about. If you really meet a girl you're interested in, you can talk to her if you want. But that will have to wait until after your operation. Speaking of surgery, Chen Chen went to the hospital for a checkup a few days ago. He is in good physical condition now. I told him that I will perform surgery on him after his birthday. Mo Yesi successfully changed the topic. Speaking of Chiao Chen's illness, Chiao Mian immediately asked with concern, can Chen Chen have surgery soon? Well, his current physical condition is enough for surgery. You sure? Of course I'm sure. Mo Yesi. Are you sure you can do the operation? When it was almost time for Chiao Chen to perform the operation, Chiao Mian was a little worried again. You haven't touched a scalpel for a long time, are you not skilled at it? Do you want to practice your skills or something beforehand? Mo Yesi. Is his wife doubting his medical skills? As a top expert in related fields, I can bear to be questioned like this. What's more, this person is still his wife. Mo Yesi had a dark look on his face. You don't believe me? It's not that I don't believe you, it's just that you haven't touched a scalpel for several years, right? Surgery is the same as doing other manual tasks. If you don't do it often, you will become unfamiliar with it. After all, he was performing an operation on his younger brother. Chiao Mian still needs to confirm it in advance. Mo Yesi. He was so angry that he laughed. Baby, are you afraid that it will be dangerous for Chen Chen to be operated by me? Do you have so little confidence in me? Hearing that the man next to him had a wrong tone, Chiao Mian turned her head and took a look, only to see that Mo Yesi's face seemed a little dark. This is, angry. Just as she was about to coax her, she heard Chiao Chen in the back compartment say, brother-in-law, I have confidence in you. When I went for a checkup, the dean said that you were very powerful back then, and there were no surgeries performed by you. Failed. So I believe you can cure me. Did you hear me? A man who was feeling depressed said to Chiao Mian, even Chen Chen believes in me, but some people still doubt me. Chiao Mian. Well, she was wrong and she repented. Asterisk. Go to Mo's house. Chiao Mian and his party walked into the hall, and the old lady was already waiting. Seeing her two grandchildren and granddaughter-in-law come back, the old lady's face burst into laughter and she felt extremely happy. Mian, Chen, come to grandma quickly. The old lady ignored Mo Yesi and waved to call Chiao Mian and her brother to her side. She held one hand with the other, looked at Chiao Mian, and said sadly that she had lost weight. Looking at Chiao Chen again, he also said with a distressed expression that Chiao Chen had lost weight. What's going on with you two siblings? You always make people worry. Don't you have a good meal? It's been a while since I last saw you, and I've lost so much weight. Chiao Chen smiled and said warmly, Grandma, this is just psychological. I just weighed myself 2 days ago, and it's the same as before. Yes, Grandma, you must be psychologically affected. Chiao Mian also said, that's why every time I see us, we must have lost weight. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1533. Chapter 1533. It's better to be out of sight and out of mind. Actually, I'm very good at eating on the set, and I might even have gained a few pounds. What psychological effect? The old lady was dissatisfied with this statement and glared at the two siblings. I think you have lost weight. I say to you two siblings, work and study are important, but your body is also very important. You can't leave anything behind. Okay, Chiao Mian covered her mouth and smiled. Grandma is right, We all listened to Grandma. Why don't we bring Chen Chen to Grandma's place for dinner today? I asked the kitchen to prepare the dishes that you two siblings like to eat. The old lady's eyes were full of love and doting. I'll see if I missed anything later. Just tell the kitchen and let them do it. Grandma has a granddaughter-in-law and a little grandson. My grandson seems to be superfluous. Yes, he said complaining words, but there was no complaint in his eyes. He was very pleased to see the old lady getting along so well with Jiao Mian and her brother. The more the old lady loves Jiao Mian, the happier he is. He wished that a few more people could pamper his wife together. The group of people were enjoying themselves so much that Mrs. Mo's existence seemed a bit unnecessary. Mrs. Mo, who was left aside, looked ugly. It's okay if Jiao Mian and Jiao Chen didn't say hello to her. Even her own son ignored her. I think the extra person is me. Mrs. Mo originally planned to wait for Jiao Mian and Mo Yesi to come back this time and take the opportunity to repair the relationship between mother and son and the relationship between mother-in-law and daughter-in-law, but when she saw the attitude of the two people, she suddenly became confused again. Anger in the belly. She couldn't help but taunted, "Do I have no place in this family at all? Even my own son treats me as a transparent person when he sees me." As soon as Mrs. Mo spoke, the harmonious and warm atmosphere suddenly changed. The old lady's expression changed first. She frowned, and said angrily, "Do you have to make some trouble every time ACI and the others come back? Since you know you are redundant, then don't stay here. Lest it affect everyone's good mood." Mrs. Mo's face condensed, and her face suddenly turned pale. "Mom, just tell me, when have you not been like this? I told you so much, but you turned a deaf ear and didn't even listen to your heart. Are you determined to prevent me and the others from coming back in the future? Do you want it to be difficult for me, an old woman, to see my grandchildren and their wives?" "No, Mom. I think that's what you think." The old lady was so angry that her breathing was a little short. "You don't even think about why ACI and the others did this to you. Don't you know what you have done?" Mrs. Mo was pushed to the point where she couldn't say a word. Looking at the angry old lady, she didn't dare to say anything. But she was still unconvinced in her heart. "Okay, you'd better go upstairs and have a rest." The old lady didn't save any face for her this time, and said to her directly in front of a room full of people in the hall, "No one can let you go here. Open. You are not happy when you see them. In this case, it's better to be out of sight and out of mind." Mrs. Mo's face became increasingly ugly. Regardless of whether she answered or not, the old lady waved over a maid and said, "Tell the kitchen that the lady will be dining upstairs in the evening and ask them to send it upstairs." End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1534. Chapter 1534 Quarrel. The maid was stunned, glanced at the old lady, and then at Mrs. Mo, whose face was blue with anger. She lowered her eyes and said respectfully, "Yes, old lady." The old lady is really strong this time. This is what Mrs. Bulletin Mo meant. Whether she wants it or not, the old lady doesn't want her to stay here. Mrs. Mo felt embarrassed in front of all the juniors and maids. She stood up with a blue face and was so angry that her whole body was trembling. "Don't bother me. Since you don't want to see me, you all think I'm redundant. I'm leaving now. When I leave this home, no one will welcome me anyway, and I will be an eyesore if I stay here. I'm leaving now." After yelling angrily, Mrs. Mo turned around and ran away with red eyes and an extremely aggrieved expression on her face. 10 minutes later, Mrs. Mo asked a bodyguard to carry the suitcase and walked downstairs with a cold face. Walked to the hall. The old lady looked at the suitcase carried by the bodyguard, and her face darkened. "Wenpei, what are you going to do? Where are you going with the suitcase?" Mrs. Mo turned her head, Mom, don't you think I'm an eyesore and that I'm affecting the harmony between your grandparents and grandchildren? If I leave, it won't affect you. You don't have to worry that I will hinder your grandchildren. The sons and daughters-in-law are back. The old lady was so angry that she didn't expect MRSMO to be so willful despite her age. And did such a childish and ridiculous thing. Actually want to run away from home. MRSMO left quickly. There was silence in the hall for a minute or two. The old lady was so angry that her breathing became rapid. Uncle John was so frightened that he quickly took out her medicine and poured a glass of warm water for her to take it. The old lady's mood slowly calmed down. But she was still so angry that she couldn't help but said, "I'm so angry, ACI, have you seen what your mother has become now? Your dad is used to this. I told your dad a long time ago that your mom can't stand being pampered, but he just doesn't listen to me. Now, let's get your mother used to this. Doesn't she behave like an elder?" Mian and Chen Chen are still here, and there are so many people watching in the hall. She is really embarrassed. Seeing that the old lady's breathing was a little shaky again, Zhangbo immediately said, "Old lady, don't be too angry, and be careful with yourself. It's not the first day you know that my wife has this temper. Maybe she was angry for a moment. I'll leave home only if I'm a little impulsive. When the madam is over, she will definitely come back. When she calms down, she will also realize what she did wrong, and she will apologize to you, old lady." "Who wants her to apologize to me?" "I don't want her to apologize to me, right?" the old lady gasped. "I feel that these children have been wronged. Grandma, Chen Chen, and I are not aggrieved." Chiao Mian was also afraid that the old lady would get angry, so she immediately took her hand and persuaded her softly, "Grandma loves us, isn't it? When we come back this time, the main thing is to come back to see your old man. Okay, Grandma, don't be angry. You just said that the kitchen would make the dishes that Chen Chen and I like to eat, so can we eat now? I seem a little hungry." After Chiao Mian finished speaking, he winked at Chiao Chen. Chiao Chen understood it and immediately nodded in agreement with her words. "Grandma, I seem to be a little hungry too. Is there any braised lion's head in the kitchen? I really want to eat this now." End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1535. Chapter 1535 Family Banquet. As soon as the old lady heard them shouting that she was hungry, her attention was diverted away. She looked at Chiao Chen lovingly and said, "Grandma knows that you like to eat braised lion's head, so she has already cooked it. There are also pickled fish and braised lobster that you like. All these dishes are available. Mian likes spicy food. I ask someone to make spicy chicken and fish head with chopped pepper. Since you are all hungry, go and eat." The old lady ordered to Uncle Zhang beside her, "Let the kitchen serve the food." Uncle Zhang saw that she was no longer angry about what had just happened, so he breathed a sigh of relief and immediately responded, "Yes, I'll go right away." Asterisk. After MRSMO left, we had a really enjoyable meal in the evening. At least that's what Chiao Mian thinks. She had a good appetite and ate 2 bowls of food in a row. Seeing that she could eat it, the old lady said with a look of relief, "You have to eat like this in the future, so that you can grow meat. I see that you ate a lot of that fish today, and it seems that you like it very much. If you like it, come back and eat it. Bring the chef with you and let him cook for you later." "Grandma, Mian hasn't been here during this time." Yes, he saw that there was still a sesame seed on Chiao Mian's lips that had not been wiped off. He raised his hand and gently wiped the sesame seeds from the corners of her lips. "It's better to wait until she comes back. Let's talk about it later." Okay. The old lady took a sip of the tea after dinner from Uncle John, and wiped the corners of her lips with a handkerchief. "I'll leave it to you. When Mian comes back, I'll let you know he passed." Chiao Mian quickly said sweetly, "Thank you, Grandma, Grandma is so kind. The old lady looked at her and smiled. Girl, although work is important, your body is more important. You must remember that you must take good care of your body and don't let yourself work too hard. Your current status also means no need to push yourself too hard. The old lady's concern warmed Xiao Mianmian's heart. She nodded and said, well, Grandma, I will pay attention. You should also take care of your health. When I am done with my work during this period, I can come to stay with you more often. Chen, you too, you must take good care of your health. The old lady knew about Jiao Chen's illness and felt very distressed. She took his hand and patted him gently. Her eyes were full of love and said, look at you, you are thinner than your sister. You are a boy. When your brother-in-law performs the surgery on you and our Chen body recovers, Grandma will have to make up for it by then. Don't put too much pressure on yourself when studying. As for Grandma, you are all healthy. Well, being safe is the most important thing. Especially Chen, you must take good care of your health and don't be careless. Xiao Chen also had a warm smile on his face and held the old lady's hand. The young man said in a clear and gentle voice, okay, Grandma, I will pay attention. Whether the old lady really treats them well, both siblings can feel it. So besides his brother-in-law, the other person in the Mo family that Xiao Chen liked was the old lady. Chen, I heard from your father that you have now begun to take over some things in the company, is that true? The old lady still loves her little grandson Xiao Chen, thinking of her Mo family's blood flowing outside for so many years. The old lady was very distressed. Fortunately, Xiao Chen was taken away from the orphanage by the Xiao family, and his life was not too bad. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1536. Chapter 1536. Nothing is more important than family reunion. But compared with Mo Yesi and Mo Shixiu who lived in the Mo family since childhood, there is still a big gap. Xiao Chen is good looking, has a sweet mouth, and has excellent academic performance. Even though it was her grandson whom she had just recognized not long ago, the old lady really liked her grandson. And of course, he is also very concerned about Xiao Chen's affairs. Well, Dad told me to study first and get familiar with the company's business. I will go to the company with him when I have time. The old lady nodded. Children of our Mo family can handle many things very early. This is true for your brother-in-law and your first cousin. It's good to get familiar with it now. After you graduate, you can directly enter the company. Got something done. Your father is the only child of yours, and the company will be managed by you from now on. Our Mo family's company cannot fall into the hands of outsiders. Well, that's what Grandma said. In the early years, your father had no children, and your aunt Wen sent her nephew to the company, so I had nothing to say. But now that I have you as my biological son, there are some things that I have to take care of. And your Aunt Wen is very jealous. You are not her biological child, so she will have some opinions on you. If you are wronged in any way, tell Grandma and Grandma will help you talk to her. Anyway, remember, Grandma will always protect you, you know. Xiao Chen smiled. Yes, Grandma, I understand. In fact, Aunt Wen is fine, and she didn't give me any grievances. That's good. Mian, how do you get along with your biological parents and your family? I think your mother is also a very gentle person, and I can tell that she loves you very much. Well, Mom is very good to me. Speaking of Mrs. Bai, Xiao Mianmian's eyes flashed with warmth. Brother is also very good to me. They have been looking for you for more than 10 years and haven't given up. They must care about you very much. Now that your family of 4 is reunited, it is also a happy event. However, don't you plan to make the recognition of your relatives public? Xiao Mian shook her head. Well, it won't be made public. I think it's good for the family to be together, and it doesn't matter whether other people know or not. That's right, the old lady sighed with emotion. Nothing is more important than family reunion. But even if it is not public, you should hold a smaller banquet to let some relatives and friends know about you. Xiao Mian has no objection to this. Mom said so too. Let's find a time to have one. Speaking of finding one, you and ACI should also think about your wedding. I remember you said at the time, wait until you graduate before having a wedding. You'll be graduating soon. Xiao Mian was stunned for a moment. When the old lady said this, she realized that she would indeed graduate soon. She said at the time that she would hold the wedding after graduation. I also think it's time for my sister and brother-in-law's wedding, Xiao Chen agreed. I've already thought about the wedding. Mo Yesi turned to look at Xiao Mian and said, it depends on what kind of wedding Mian likes, and we will have it. I think the suggestion my mother-in-law made before is good. The Bai family will have one, and our Mo family will have one. In this case, both Chinese and Western styles are available. Of course, this is your wedding, as long as it depends on what you want. Grandma, it's still early. Mo Yesi curled his lips and said, then we will discuss it together. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1537. Chapter 1537, Intercede for the Shen family. Anyway, whether it's Chinese or Western style, I want to give Mian a grand wedding. This is what it should be. You and Shixiu have to have a grand wedding. By the way, I heard that the little girlfriend Shixiu brought back is a good friend with Mian. Mian, is this true? Well, Grandma, Luo Li and I are in the same dormitory. We have always had a good relationship. That's really fate. Of your 2 best friends, one is married to ACI and the other is with Shixiu. If you wait until your friend marries Shixiu, your best friend will become your sister-in-law, and you will become a real couple. As a family, our relationship will become closer in the future. If it were MRSMO who said this, Xiao Mian would definitely not think that MRSMO thought this was really a good thing. But if the old lady said this, she really thought it was good. Yes, I also hope that Luo Li can marry my eldest brother in the end, so that she will be my eldest sister-in-law. This year has really made me feel the most worry-free and relaxed. In the past, I was always worried about the lifelong events of ACI and your eldest brother, and I couldn't sleep well. I was always worried that the 2 brothers would be alone for the rest of their lives. Fortunately, God has been kind to our Mo family. They have solved all their personal problems this year. After Shixiu gets married, I will have nothing to worry about. Asterisk. The old lady is old and not in good health. After dinner, I chatted with Xiao Mian and the others for a while, then said I was tired and wanted to rest. After Zhang Bo helped the old lady leave, Xiao Chen thought of something, stood up and said to Mo Yesi, brother-in-law, I have something I want to talk to you about. Can I talk to you alone? Mo Yesi glanced at Xiao Mian. Xiao Mian stood up and said, I'm going to take a walk in the garden. You and Chen can chat. After saying that, she turned around and walked out of the hall. Chen, follow me. Mo Yesi left these words behind and went to the study room upstairs. Xiao Chen quickly followed. After entering the study, Xiao Chen reached out and gently closed the door. Mo Yesi sat on the sofa and pointed to the seat opposite him, sit down and talk. Xiao Chen walked over slowly. After he sat down, Mo Yesi turned around and asked, what do you want to talk to me about? Brother-in-law, have the Shen family asked you for help? Xiao Chen didn't want to beat around the bush with Mo Yesi. He promised Chen Xian that he would help to plead for mercy. Regardless of whether Mo Yesi was willing to help, he would do what he promised. Just arrive. Mo Yesi was stunned and frowned. Thinking of Shen Xian's visit to Jiao Chen when she went to pick up Jiao Chen, Mo Yesi roughly guessed what was going on. The matter you want to talk to me about is the Shen family's matter? Did Shen Xian ask you to help me plead for mercy? Jiao Chen raised his head suddenly, with surprise on his face. Shen Xian came to see you in the afternoon. Did she come to see you about the Shen family's affairs? Jiao Chen was silent for a while, his face gradually returned to normal, and he nodded, yes. So, you want to persuade me to help the Shen family? Mo Yesi raised his eyebrows. Brother-in-law, are you unwilling to help the Shen family because of what Shen Rou did to your sister? Jiao Chen asked in an unfavorable manner. So be it. I know you are venting your anger for your sister, but, the rest of the Shen family should be innocent. I heard that the Shen family and the Mo family have a good personal relationship. Brother-in-law, are you really not going to help the Shen family? End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1538. Chapter 1538, Forward my original words to her. Mo Yesi narrowed his eyes and looked at Jiao Chen with a meaningful look. Chen, please answer me a question first. Brother-in-law, tell me. If Shen Xian hadn't asked you for help, would you still think that the other members of the Shen family were innocent? Jiao Chen's expression suddenly changed. Chen, it's not that I don't give the Shen family a chance. I have already laid out the conditions. As long as they can do it, I will help. But if they can't do it, the life and death of the Shen family has nothing to do with me. I know that you and Shen Xian are classmates. She asks you for help, so you can't refuse. If she asks you again, you can tell her what I said. Jiao Chen was silent for a while, pursed his lips, nodded and said, I understand. Shen Xian is a nice girl. Mo Yesi paused, met Jiao Chen's surprised gaze, and continued, but based on the current relationship between your sister and Shen Rou, your relationship may not be so smooth. Brother-in-law, what are you talking about? Jiao Chen looked at him in astonishment and said with a little panic in his eyes, you misunderstood, Shen Xian and I are just classmates. For the sake of our classmates, that's why I agreed to help. Perhaps regarding this matter. Mo Yesi didn't say much, I just want to tell you, try not to fall in love before the surgery. It's best not to fall in love within a year after the surgery. Although it's okay if you want to talk, try not to talk. Brother-in-law, I haven't thought about this now. Yeah, Mo Yesi nodded, I don't worry about these things about you. It's just that your sister is worried about whether something happened to you recently. Sister, are you worried about me? Jiao Chen was stunned for a moment, lowered his eyes, and a cold look flashed across his eyes and said, Sister, you are worrying too much. I have always been fine and nothing has happened to me. She has always treated me as a child. My child is always worried about me, that's why I have such worries. Actually, I can take care of myself a long time ago. Tell my sister not to worry, I can take care of myself. Chen, no matter what happens, if you need my help, don't be polite to me. Mo Yesi stood up, walked to Jiao Chen, bent down and patted him on the shoulder, I don't, but your brother-in-law is also your cousin. Your sister has repeatedly told me that I must take good care of you. If anything happens to you, your sister will definitely not forgive me. Well, thank you, brother-in-law. Asterisk. Back to Lushan Villa. After taking a bath, Jiao Mian changed into her pajamas and walked out of the bathroom. Mo Yesi also took a shower and was lying on the bed in his nightgown, reading on a tablet. Jiao Mian walked over and lay down next to him. The man habitually spreads one arm and lets her head lie on his arm. Chiao Mian turned over and stretched out her arms to hug him. What did Chen Chen tell you when we were at Mo's house? Mo Yesi lowered his eyes and glanced at her, put the tablet aside, put his other hand around her, and hugged her gently. He took a deep breath, smelled the faint fragrance on her body and whispered, "Please help the Shen family." Chiao Mian was stunned and raised her head in surprise. He begged for mercy for the Shen family. Shen Xian asked him to help beg for mercy. He should not be able to refuse. But he just helped and said nothing else. And you? End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1539. Chapter 1539. You must treat me well in the future. Of course I didn't agree to him. The shortfall of the Shen family is too big. Even if the Mo family is willing to help, they will have to invest a lot of money. And the money invested may not be earned back. From a business perspective, there is no benefit in helping the Shen family. But haven't the Shen family and the Mo family always had a good relationship? If you don't want to help, will they go to grandma and complain? I am the president of Mo's company, not grandma. Mo Yesi smiled lightly and said, even if grandma is willing to help them, I am the one who makes the final decision. Then you really don't want to help the Shen family? What, you want to plead for the Shen family? No, Chiao Mian was not such a holy mother. After what Shen Ro had done to her, she still begged the Shen family for mercy. The old master of the Shen family and grandpa used to be very good friends. They were on the same battlefield. The friendship between the two families has only been maintained for so many years because of them. Since grandpa passed away, the contact between the two families has decreased a lot. The Mo family has no obligation to help the Shen family. If the same thing happens to them, the Shen family may not help the Mo family. Whether the Shen family can survive this or not depends on themselves. According to the Shen family's current business model, even if the disaster happens this time, it's hard to believe that if there is no major internal rectification, the same thing will happen again in the future. Besides, your brother wants to make the Shen family suffer. If I go to help, your brother will probably have a big problem with me. My brother? Chiao Mian blinked and raised her face in confusion. What does this matter have to do with my brother? Of course it does matter. Mo Yesi pinched her nose gently. Do you know why Shen's stock price suddenly fell so fast? If it weren't for your brother's manipulation, even if Shen had something wrong, it can last for another year or two. The drop in stock prices greatly damaged Shen's energy, and he couldn't hold on any longer. You mean, the drop in Shen's stock price was caused by my brother? Chiao Mian was extremely surprised, with a look of disbelief on her face. Well, he said he wanted to help you vent your anger, and he couldn't let his sister be bullied in vain. But, how did he do it? This is indeed not an easy thing for others. But for your brother? Mo Yesi smiled, it should be quite simple. Chiao Mian was stunned again. Is her brother actually so powerful? As if he knew what she was thinking, Mo Yesi added, although your brother is a director, he doesn't only know how to make movies. I think he was only 18 years old when he talked about how the stock market was in chaos. It's just that he was not interested in these things and liked filming instead, so he chose to be a director. Chiao Mian was stunned for a while after hearing this. I never expected that Bai Yasheng, besides being good at filming, would have such a great past. Unexpectedly, the Shen family suddenly had a problem and was almost on the verge of bankruptcy, and it was Bai Yasheng who caused it. After hearing these things, she had only one thought in her heart at this moment: her brother is really awesome. It seems that you must treat me well in the future. After a while, Chiao Mian sighed. Mo Yesi raised his eyebrows, his deep voice was magnetic and charming, and he said softly at the end, huh. Chiao Mian looked at him and said seriously, my brother is so powerful. If you don't treat me well, what will happen if he attacks Mr. Mo in the future? Are you afraid? End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1540. Chapter 1540. She seems to have ignored her husband. Mo Yesi was startled, his Adam's apple rolled twice, and he laughed softly, afraid, very scared. You are right. In order to prevent Mo from going bankrupt in the future, I have to treat you well. I will be kind to you and pamper you all my life. I can't let the Mo family go bankrupt in my hands. Then I will become a sinner of the Mo family. Chiao Mian said it seriously, and the man responded seriously. Actually, both of them were joking. Chiao Mian couldn't help but laugh. It's good that you know. Now I have an older brother and a younger brother. If you treat me badly, I will let them beat you up. That might disappoint you. What you said will never happen. Mo Yesi hugged his little wife tightly, lowered his head and kissed her forehead gently, with a gentle voice, Mian, I will love you forever. You are mine forever. My dear. If one day I fail you, I will not end well in this life. As soon as he finished speaking, Chiao Mian immediately covered his mouth. She bit her lip and glared at him. Okay, why are you saying this all of a sudden? If you don't end up well, I want you to be well in your life. The man chuckled lightly, took her little hand away, and put it on his handsome face. A man who betrays his wife should not die a good death. If you don't do anything wrong, you won't be afraid of ghosts knocking on the door. I'm not afraid of answering my oath. You are afraid. What? You can't talk nonsense then. Chiao Mian pinched his face. Anyway, you are not allowed to say such things again in the future. I don't like to hear it. Well, as you command, wife. Chiao Mian lay on his chest and heard his heartbeat, which was gentle and strong. The gentle beating of her heartbeat was like a hypnotic spell. As she listened, her eyelids became a little heavy. Mo Yesi, I'm so sleepy. Chiao Mian covered her lips and yawned, then said lazily, I want to sleep. Well, go to sleep. Knowing that she would get up early tomorrow, Mo Yesi had some ideas, but he still wanted her to have a good sleep. He moved his body, turned sideways to protect her, and raised his arms so that she could sleep more comfortably. The other hand gently covered the top of her hair, as if protecting her in his arms. Have a sweet dream, baby. Chiao Mian yawned again, nuzzled into his arms, and said softly, then, good night. Good night. Asterisk. The next day, Chiao Mian flew back to F City. The shooting continues. Shueishia paid all the subsequent signing fees for the first signed advertisement. When Chiao Mian received the money, she found that it was much higher than the fee in the signing contract. She called Linda and asked what was going on. Because the facial mask you endorse sold very well and is now out of stock. Shueishia said that the extra money is a bonus. I also told the company that the bonus will not be collected. I'll send you. Although I know you are not short of money now, but... Sisters, yeah, I'm short of money now. Chiao Mian said before Linda could finish. No one would mind having too much money. So if there is any suitable endorsement, you can help me with it? I really don't mind that my schedule is full every day. I really like this kind of fulfilling life. Linda. After Chiao Mian finished speaking, she realized that she seemed to have overlooked something. After thinking about it for a while, I finally remembered. She seems to have neglected her husband. End of this chapter.